Good morning, this is Tom Zimmerman, bringing you more living sensations. Today, I'm going back to my original town of Rivervale, and I'm going to do a cycling tour of it. This is for all those who lived in Rivervale. A lot of my friends. I started my life here on the planet Earth in Rivervale, starting in May 1958, and I stayed all the way through fourth grade, well, the second tour of fourth grade. And I left in June of 1969. But I just wanted to do this tour today for those who lived in Rivervale and for a lot of my old classmates. I hope you enjoy this. Let's go for a ride. Welcome to Rivervale Township, 1906. Woo! Rivervale. Thank you for joining me on this tour of Rivervale. This is Rivervale Road. Woo! Let the journey begin. I live in Rockland County, New York, not too far from Rivervale. Actually, I work just a mile from here at Blue Hill Plaza. Most of you might remember the Uris building. It was empty for many, many years. I watched it be built when I lived in Rivervale. That was a long time ago, as I said. About 1969, 68, they started building it, and it remained empty for years. But enough of that. This is Rivervale Road. Welcome to Rivervale. I know a classmate of mine, Sharon Dodge, lived here. Right off this Rivervale Road. I lived in the north part of Rivervale on Woodside Avenue. And there used to be a siren up on one of these poles. I used to come up here for the 6 o'clock whistle and blow my ears out. And anywhere I was in Rivervale, when I heard the 6 o'clock whistle, I better get home because it was dinner time. I'm going to take a ride down behind my old neighborhood. I'll come back and I'll see Brad Haberly's house. This was all woods when I was a little boy. Used to be a farmer that owned all this property. It's a beautiful morning on a Sunday. It's the dog days of summer. So I got out early. It's going to be 92 today. Been a good summer so far. So here's my old street, Woodside Avenue. Coming up ahead. This used to be right the dead end right here. We used to come down here and play all the time. That's my backyard here. That was a new development. I know my friend Tommy Post would love this. There's the Levecchia's house, and down there was the stream. Used to play down there all the time. And here's my old house here. This is only the third owner. My sister and I met the previous owner who actually purchased our house. That was my room on the far right. Looks good. This is the Duggins house. Shout out to the Duggins. Janie Duggan, Davey, Tom, and Tommy Post. A lot of good times here, Tommy. Look at these trees, how they've grown. We used to jump for those trees. We cut one down too. That wasn't a good thing for us to do, but a lot of good times there, Tommy. And there's Woodside School. That's where my education began. Boy, did I struggle. Excuse me. Let's take a tour of the old school. It looks like it's under construction. Judy Bauer's house. Shout out to Judy. Doing something here. I know Brad Haberly lived over there. So let's take a tour of the old school. Remember this wing. A lot of good times. I remember the patrol. I spent 2 tours of duty in 4th grade here. Wow, look at they built this up. That used to be a little more level. Wow, the playground looks good though. A lot of good times here. I remember the underpass. There used to be an underpass there. We used to go underneath. And I almost made it to 5th grade here. I made it for the first day, and then they pulled me out and said, "Hey, we forgot to tell you, you got left back." Used to play in these woods all the time. There used to be poles here. I used to chimney up with my friend Robert Skeen. Believe it or not, we smoked some cigarettes in 4th grade. Here's the old wing. Remember Claudia Swenny? She was actually a girlfriend of mine. Puppy love. And I fell and hit my head here one time really hard. I guess they did away with that entrance because of that. And we used to go sleigh riding. This hill used to be a whole lot bigger, as I remember. Mr. Scatina, how I remember his name. He was the principal back in the 60s. So they're doing a lot of renovations here. Good old Woodside School. A lot of memories here. Another living sensation. Positive, emotional sensation. So here we go on Rivervale Road. Morning. Now, Rivervale, it's a long, long town. Rivervale, this is the Vale. All the way to the southern side of town. The Dugans, shout out to Dugan. We used to walk this sidewalk and ride our bikes up and down Just being in the northern side of Rivervale, we had to travel a long ways to see friends on the other side. I mean the other side of town. We're coming upon the country store. Mr. Unger was the owner for many years. My sister used to get pig's feet here. We used to get a bottle of Coke. Woo! And I mucked this up last time I was on video, but you all know what this was in the day. And here's the Rivervale golf course. My first job, my entrepreneur. I used to find golf balls and sell them back. We used to get 25 cents for Titleist. Yeah, that's a serious cyclist. I used to get my earthworms from here with Roberge School, and we used to go fishing at the Resi. Before it was the reservoir, they were building it. Good to see the golf course is still here. And I remember we took a tour of the library that used to be here. They tore it down. I don't know if some of you remember there was a library there. It must have been the first library of Rivervale. Now the homes are going in. Hey. This is new construction. And we're coming up to the old Rivervale Lodge. Let's meet. Woo! Nice to be in the shade. It's going to be a hot one today. So I'm glad you all can join me on this tour of Rivervale. Again, my name is Tom Zimmerman, and I'm living well beyond 50, bringing you all positive living sensations. Enjoy the Rivervale group on Facebook, sharing all these memories. So I felt it was important to do another tour, but this time on my bike. Many of you recall the first one was in my car. I believe that was in the fall, about 3 years ago maybe. Gives you a nice look at your old town. And now Kathy Kavanagh moved here with her family, raised her family here. Shout out to Kathy. You got to see both towns. Old Japan last week, now Rivervale. This was another golf course here, but they sold out. And now these are condominiums. I want to take a little detour here because when I was a young boy fishing with Roberge School, we came across the Baylor massacre site when they discovered the remains of the soldiers that were massacred. And we spent many days down here in the morning. My mother used to get donuts and coffee for me to bring down to people who were working on recovering the soldiers' bodies. So this is the Baylor Massacre Park. So Robert Skeen and I were here and we watched them dust off the dirt of the skeletons of the soldiers. It was some education. Right here is where we seen them, and they were a number of remains. And unfortunately, you could tell that there was some smashed skulls. Of course, they were shot and killed in their sleep. They surprised them. It's part of history. And that's the way to Old Japan, where I was last week, is the Old Japan Road. And the Hackensack River, that's pretty much where the stream from Woodside Avenue flowed into, I should say. So we're making our way south along the Rivervale on Rivervale Road. Again, this was the golf course, Edgewood Country Club now. My Little League field was to the right down here at Minetto's Farms. You all spoke about the fire of Minetto's Farms. I'll get back to that later, because I witnessed the day after the fire, as I had a Little League game that morning. And here comes the Grove. Spent many days swimming down here at the Grove. Hey, they got a farmer's market here. Before we get to Holdrum School, let's go check out the new footprint of the Grove. Heading into the sun. That sun is hot. Oh, they really made it a nice park here. I remember the concession stand down here. Used to get the fudge icicles. Oh, so they made it a football field, a baseball field. Wow. That used to be where the Grove was. That was a cool pool. A lot of ear infections though. So now we're heading to Holdrum School. Now the only time I attended Holdrum School was for summer school. Again, I went to summer school and I passed. I thought I did. And I was supposed to go to 5th grade with my classmates. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. But I did attend this. But when I moved in '69, I did not attend Holdrum School. That's where I would have went. For all my classmates who have, let's take a tour of this. Holdrum School. Looks like they're doing some renovations too. We always came down here. My father took us to field day. We used to have field day here. And I remember coming to play Pop Warner football against the Raiders. They were a powerhouse. They used to kick our butt because we were a little town in Old Japan, just getting started, and they were well established. And I was part of that because we started playing football up north of Rivervale, and a fella said, you know what, we should develop a football league. So, wow. This is where they had field day. We used to run all the way around. We had the broad jump. So a lot of my old classmates are very familiar with this area, this playground. And I know a number of you talked about walking through here to Minetto's Farms. And there was some kind of story about I think it was an older man. Let's take a tour of this. Ah, nice park. This was all woods. We used to go to the baseball field down there. Morning. Beautiful. This is all new to me. Oh, there's the Raiders played here. We played up on the school field. And Minetto's Farms was in there. So this is the old Little League field. Yeah. I used to come through this road here to play Little League. Mr. Shine let me play the summer I left because he felt bad that I wasn't playing ball in the summer. Yeah, so this is where the horses all were. They perished when they had the fire. Unfortunately, the horses felt that it was a safe place, so they stayed in the barn. They couldn't get them out. And when I came to play Little League here that morning, you could unfortunately smell the burning flesh of all the horses. And I'm sorry to say that, but it was traumatic for me to see everything smoldering, and they were burying the horses because they all perished. Sorry to bring that up, but it was tragic. But it's good to see the old ball field. Again, this was a lot of woods back here. I'm sure a lot of you are more familiar with this new facility than myself. Kind of enjoyed the woods here, walking through. Back into the sun. Go Raiders! All right, we have to get back on the Rivervale Road. I thought you all would enjoy seeing your old stomping grounds. So I couldn't join you on your tour of Holdrum School, but a lot of people I stayed in touch with. How can you not? You're all childhood friends, and there's a bond. I mean, I was born I was born in Teaneck Holy Name Hospital, but they brought me home to 646 Woodside Avenue. From 1958, May of 1958 to June of 1969. I remember coming up here and playing basketball against all my buddies. We did win that game though, guys. We had Mr. Rossi, the best coach ever. He was ahead of the game. All right, so we're getting back on Rivervale Road. Heading south. I have good memories of the parade, Memorial Day parade. We used to march with the baseball team, Little League teams. All right, so the police station's still here, and the Rivervale Ambulance Corps. It's grown. It's been there forever in my life. This was a long parade. I remember it being in the parade, and my father gave me a new bat. It was definitely too big for me. I carried that thing proudly over my shoulder. As you can see, Rivervale Road is a long stretch of road. It's the Vale of the River, Rivervale. I'll tell you, I forget that I'm cycling sometimes, so I gotta be careful. Going down memory lane with all of you. I just was reminded because now I got a good aerobic workout going. And for those of you who are new to my channel, basically I utilize all positive living sensations so that I can maintain a therapeutic lifestyle in hopes of living well beyond 50. This is my 16th year past 50. So far, so good. Well, we're heading to Four Corners. I remember there was a lake back here. We used to go ice skating. This is all new. Really built up. I remember the Texaco gas station was here. Bachika Loop was the owner. Now it's 7-Eleven. And everyone remembers the fire. I'm going to come back this way. I just want to go to Roberge, another school that I did not attend, but I believe that was it's a grammar school like Woodside. This is heading to Montvale, Westwood, Hillsdale. we're coming upon Roberge. I never attended Roberge. I did play ball there. Follow this car. Oh, maybe not. There's the school. Funny. So those who attended Roberge, here you go. Yep, similar to Woodside School. Take a tour. Wouldn't be right if I didn't do the same for those who attended Roberge. Thought it would go around, but oh, this is where we played ball years ago with Kathy Barlow, who was my neighbor. So as we peel out of this area, check out this side for all of you that attended Roberge. See if I have a better view. There we go. Just like Woodside for me, I'm sure this means a lot to all of you. Your childhood memories. Sure, this is all new. They invented all the safety things because of our generation. We survived. Most of us did. Whew. Roberge. I'll head back to Rivervale Road. I'm going to go to this park that I used to go to even when I lived in Old Japan. Actually, it was new when I moved to Old Japan. So the purpose of doing this video, once again, is for those who lived in Rivervale, grew up in Rivervale just like I had, and most of you stayed much longer than me. I say much longer. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. I often wondered how that transition was from Pascack Hills to Pascack Valley, because I grew up as a Pascack Hills cowboy, and Pascack Valley, the Indians, were our arch rivals. And in a way, that's one thing I said to myself when I was playing for the Old Japan Golden Knights, that I was happy to have moved, because I did not want to play for the Indians. but they had Greg Mulford. We didn't beat Pascack Valley. It was a good game, but Greg Mulford was the leading rusher that year. And I think the year before. I remember him being fast as a kid. Could never catch Greg Mulford. Nor did we do a good job the day we played them. So my hat's off to the Indians and all my classmates who had to endure that transition. But you know what? You got drafted. And you played your hearts out. And I knew you guys were going to be good because of the Rivervale Raiders. That was a good organization. So this is the park I used to come to with my girlfriend, Debbie. We used to bring a sandwich and feed the ducks. So this is pretty much the most southern part of Rivervale. I'm going to just take a little loop. This too has changed. There's the lake. This is the original section here. Looks like they expanded it. These trees have grown. So have we. As you can see, Rockland County, Bergen County are two great counties of two neighboring states. The cost of living here is pretty steep. So far, I'm still here. I'll be retiring this coming year, and I'll remain here for some time, as all my children have grown up and lived in New York. Two daughters in the city, and my son in Nanuet, New York, which is close by. We see them quite often, and my son got married, and my oldest daughter is getting married this December. Thomas, Caitlin, and Megan moved into the city. She's got her master's in social work, licensed master's in social work. I'm proud of all of them. They've done well. They paid attention. Woo. Now they did mostly all on their own. All we can do is guide them the best we can. So I'm glad you could join me today. I'm going to head back north. So if you want to continue with this tour, maybe you missed something, or maybe you want to see something again. But if you decide to leave, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, a like. I appreciate it, because it will help me connect to like-minded people like you and I. And perhaps people who also enjoyed growing up in Rivervale. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider it. I would love to have you come aboard to enjoy more living sensations such as these. I know you're all seniors like myself, so we have to incorporate all positive living sensations. Welcome to Rivervale. So we did go out of Rivervale, sorry about that, but I had to see that for myself. So it's important for us now that we're seniors. We're part of the senior class. See, I finally caught up to you guys. Well, you caught up to me, I don't know. It's all the same. Let's enjoy our senior class. Let's connect to like-minded people like us. So if you subscribe, perhaps we can connect to more people like ourselves and enjoy positive living sensations. Thank you. All right, so I'm getting a good pump going. Hey, cypress fruit. You can hear the summer crickets. Peepers. So this is where the fire was at Four Corners. We came by here, my father, mother, my sister Eileen and I. We were in our station wagon and all the fire engines were, and police officers and ambulances were down here. Of course, we got detoured and turned around. I mentioned earlier there was a lake here. That's where my father taught us how to ice skate, which was good. It helped me when I joined the hockey league in Westwood at Fritz Needles. Started my hockey career on that lake. More housing, just like anywhere else, keeps expanding. But it looks like that Rivervale and Old Japan have done a good job with their zoning, because if you agree with me, a lot of these neighborhoods look the same. Unfortunately, it's just where they had a golf course, farms. Those were sold to develop residential and commercial real estate. I know there's a ball field down here. I played Little League down here too. That was a new field when I was growing up in Rivervale. I'm glad I got out early on this Sunday morning. As I've said in my other cycling videos, I enjoy Sunday mornings because less traffic, most people are sleeping in or going to religious services. I just have to watch the ones who are coming home from a party night Saturday night. Some of us knew what that was all about. I was young and stupid. But you know what? Those were living sensations. Part of growing up, finding your way. Again, this is the river. Love to get around this turn safely. Oh yeah. So I've been cycling a number of times now this summer, and I feel in much better shape than the first time I went out. Cycling helps keep my legs nice and strong and firm. Helps me with my endurance level. If you join me on my channel, and if you just connected to me and my channel, you'll notice that I do strength training and aerobic workouts. I do walking, cycling, a lot of hiking. Training for life. That's pretty much what it comes down to. I'm sure most of you have incorporated a healthier lifestyle now that you're older, because it's important to have that strength training and aerobic workout. We've got to keep on training for life, no matter what it is. So I train for hiking and skiing in the wintertime. So cycling is a good way to keep my legs strong and also help my endurance. We should all incorporate strength training and aerobic workouts. I do a lot of walking in my neighborhood. I do 2 miles. I try to do 2 miles each day. Walking is the safest activity that I do. And of course, strength training. This and skiing is a little more dangerous. But you gotta stay within yourself. And that goes to hold the pan there. So you play pickleball, play tennis, you walk, you cycle. Whatever those activities you incorporate into your lifestyle is beneficial. Got to keep moving. Move and stay in the groove. Hey, we all come from a cool generation. We grew up in the 60s and 70s. We survived the 80s, and most of us, if you have families, you settle down, purchase some property, maybe a house, and had some children. Most of us had parents of the greatest generation. So, my parents were old school and it worked. I'm here today. And I believe this was a good foundation to grow up in a town like Rivervale. This was my foundation. And moving to Old Japan was just a transition over the pond. No, not England. Old Japan. Over the Rivervale, Old Japan Reservoir. Actually, Japan went out on that. Lake Japan. I know I ramble. I hope you don't mind. My brother used to call me the Rambling Man. That's what the brothers were. No pun intended. The Allman Brothers. Come on. See? When you move and do activities like she's doing, running, me cycling, even if you're walking, you get those endorphins going. It's the best natural drug. The best I ever had. And for personal reasons, mostly health reasons, I was a social drinker. Sometimes I was a partier. I used to let loose like most of us, but I ended up abstaining from alcohol. I miss the social aspect of it in the beginning. But it's because I have good friends and family. They congratulated me. Some of them said, I don't even know how you can do that. But good for you. I also gave up caffeine because it used to make me jittery. Somewhat anxious, very sensitive to caffeine, sugar, and alcohol. So, since I've done that, eliminating alcohol and caffeine, it seems to be working. And I have a new relationship with food. I only touched briefly on that in my past videos. But upon retirement, I'll have more time to spend doing videos like this: skiing, hiking, strength training, aerobic workouts. I'll touch upon stress reduction, relaxation, the importance of sleep, especially sleep. Good food and sleep, exercise, therapeutic activities in your waking hours. Keep your mind active. That's very important. And with my video editing and trying to learn this technology, sounds simple to most of you, but that keeps me very active. Okay, now I'm going to do a loop around Orangeburg Road. I had a friend I used to hang out with. He lived in that old house. That was pretty cool. And Harold and Mary Ashley and their family grew up in this house here. And for the older Pan people, Mr. Roberge, who unfortunately passed away in the last few years, lived there after the Ashleys. And Leo Ippolito, his parents owned all this property. I used to play with Leo and Robert skiing, and we used to spend so much time. He had a jukebox in his house, large property. And again, this is part of the river or stream that ran through my neighborhood and Leo's. So we used to follow the stream, catch bullfrogs, crabs, clawfish I should say, pollywogs. That was before the acid rain. And if you head this way, the Rivervale Tavern was down this way. And Mr. Zella, who lived in my neighborhood, my father was his electrical contractor. And this is Woodside Avenue. This is a one-way now. They pulled it off. This is another neighborhood. Many friends down here. Loretta Drive. A lot of memories there. All right, Woodside Avenue. There's the stream. Used to start from there, go underneath the road, and follow that all the way down. That's why my sister and I do so much hiking. We grew up exploring, and we continue to explore. You know what? I'll go back up Woodside, get my last pump. Tiltons, Wheelers, Barlows, it's all coming back. Janie Duggan and her family. Still can't get over those trees, Tommy. We'll go past Judy's house and Brad Haverly's. Whew. Good old Woodside School. Whew. Here we go into the last stretch. If you're still with me, thank you. Judy, it looks like the same garage. And Brad, if you can help me out, the name of the farmer who had all this property. There we go. Brad Haverly, my brother's good friend. This is where the Rivervale Raiders got their start. I was part of that. Played football there, and we invited all the teachers. And I think I lost some of my hearing with the 6 o'clock whistle. And where we were down south, I would be there when that 6 o'clock whistle went off. I believe it was right here. And I had my Schwinn Stingray banana seat. That was a cool bike, and I used to wail as fast as I can across town to get home. My mother would be ringing that bell. And if you were late, you heard about it. Sometimes I was late. But they knew I was safe. And playing all day long. Okay. We're entering Montvale now, so thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you spending time, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, you can give me a thumbs up, like, I appreciate it. And if you'd like to experience more living sensations, check out my channel, consider joining, be a subscriber, and I can't wait to hear all your comments. Great to be in the senior class with all of you, and let's incorporate a therapeutic lifestyle so we can continue creating more memories like this, so we can live well beyond 50. Woo! I want to wish you all the best and be well. There's my Subaru Wilderness Outback. Takes me to all these fantastic places. Today, Rivervale. Yay! Thank you.